and look out for themselves. I miss Alonzo. Alonzo, I missed your other super chat. He says, so Judge, how would a reasonable person define sole intent purpose?
In what respect?
I have no idea. That's just what he sent in super chat
I
asking.
mean, see, everything has context. That's why I was talking about it's bad to take what goes on in the case out of context. I have no idea what you're talking about because the phrasing you're using can have different meanings in different circumstances. Give me a context.
So Alonzo, you got about 5 minutes to type in the context, like elaborate more on what you're saying. He says, how would a reasonable person define sole intent purpose? So
It's
Alonzo,
not language commonly used in the legal system, but I mean,
mhm.
what are you referring to? I can get some hint, but I mean, I don't know exactly what
He
you're referring to.
says the Mann Act.
The Mann Act? That's the problem with the Mann Act. It's too ambiguous. Basically, it was set up to trap Jack Johnson, the first world black heavyweight boxing champion. He had a white wife, and she used to travel with her friend girls. So here is this big, huge black man that nobody can whip. He was dark skinned, and he would be traveling around with all of these little white girls. And a lot of people would get very offended. So they created the FBI to investigate the situation and see if they could come up with something. And the purpose was to deal with anybody who transported women across state lines for illicit purposes. Now, they got Jack Johnson, but it was not for money. It's not for hire. He simply was traveling with his lawfully wedded wife through a state, Georgia, and Georgia did not recognize interracial marriage. So the U.S. Marshals boarded the train that Jack Johnson and his wife were on and arrested him. He wound up getting convicted. He escaped, went to France. His mommy wanted him to come back so she could see her baby boy. He tried to sneak back in, got caught, got more time for the escape than he got for the offense, which was 1 year. And I think he got 5 for the escape. So when he got out, he died in a car wreck in 1946. Barack Obama refused to pardon him, but
So here's the thing. So he says the element.
Donald Trump did posthumously pardon him and
Right.
clear him of all wrong.
Okay, so let's just swing it to Diddy because listen, that was his girlfriend. So he wasn't soliciting her across state lines. That was his girlfriend. They traveled together. So he's saying the elements of the Mann Act, sole intent.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4-count indictment, essentially alleging Mann Act violations. We went over it, and it goes on at great length to try to set up all this salacious content that ordinarily the feds would even bring out.
So he says, so how can, for the purpose of sole intent, be proven?
It's not sole intent. It's just, did you bring them across? You know, maybe they were hiding in a truck you were in when you were transporting furniture. You didn't know it, but if you knew they were in there, that's
the people who they
established an intentional act.
But bring who across? The people who they hired to have sex?
Well, there you go.
Right. And that's the thing, because it can't be Cassie, because that was his girlfriend. And if that's the case, then every girl out here could say, oh, well, he sex trafficked me because
yeah, you can.
That's crazy.
I told you a case I tried as a defense lawyer. My client was a school teacher.
Wait, hold on. Or let's just say you're dating a woman and she lives in another state and you pay for her airfare to come visit you. She could say you
picked her. That is under the Mann Act.
That's crazy.
I know, that's what's so ridiculous about it. It needs to be repealed. Now, listen. My client was a school teacher. He went to a conference in West Memphis, Arkansas, which is right across the bridge. He met a woman over there who was also a school teacher at the same conference. They had hooked up in high school, so they had just gotten divorced. They decided to hook up. feds were interested in this guy because his brother was a drug dealer. All right. So they watched as he left his car over there at this motel in Arkansas on the other side of the Mississippi Bridge and rode with this woman across the bridge. They went to a Memphis hotel and the feds busted him on the Mann Act because he and the woman were going to sleep together or play rabbit in a Memphis place, and they crossed over the Mississippi River to do it. No money involved, no nothing, just lust.
Mm. Well, one last thing. President Trump said the gift from Qatar will be to use U.S. Department of Defense, not him personally. So apparently, I don't know if you know this, Trump said he will be stupid not to accept the luxury jetliner that the Qatari royal family planned to donate as a temporary Air Force One. Mr. Trump said the plane, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, will be handed over to his presidential library after his term, but that it would not be for his personal use.
It happens all the time.
He says only stupid people reject gifts.
Yeah, Qatar is giving him a souped up, super stretch 747.
I want to fly Qatar Airlines. I heard it's lovely.
Yeah. So it's got all the luxury appointments,
communications. Why are they giving it to him? But why? What? I mean, yes, I will accept it.
Why would they do it? Yeah. Why does if you go to the Smithsonian Institution, it's filled with stuff that foreigners gave to the U.S. as gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is nothing new.
Yeah.
So then why they're making it a big deal? Because
they don't know and they're ignorant and it makes good press.
Yeah, how many gifts did Obama get that's in his library or in the Smithsonian?
Yeah, I mean, you can take the gifts as long as you don't turn them to your personal use.
Right, and how does 800,000 children go missing every year in the United States with the system of government? That's a great question. Because it's called that's sex trafficking, human trafficking. That's human because it's human trafficking. But then you got Diddy on a trial talking about baby oil. He's just being freaky.
I mean, they're painting the picture of a real freak, you know. But I mean,
yeah. Let me put this back up. 800,000 children missing, but you focus on this one man who was a freak. And he beat up his girlfriend. He was a abuser. So then
some people that beat up a girlfriend is more violent and offensive than 800,000 missing children.
No, then every man who has put their hands on their wife or girl need to be on trial if that's the case. But you are focused on this man who was a freak and liked freak offs that people got paid. And that's why they did it for the money and maybe they enjoyed it. But you're not focused on the 800,000 children missing?
Well, let me say something.
Who are being woman trafficked?
Hold on, let me say something. Sometimes people bring stuff on themselves. This particular female attorney has made a lifetime career of speaking against violence against women. I knew her in law school. And I was 2 years ahead of the group she was in, and I was conducting a study session in the library. So I asked this one kid, I said, can you elaborate on this case? What do you think the holding is on it? I was giving them some tutoring. He said, Joe, look, I did not read that, man. I really didn't. I have no clue. So she was getting upset with this. So this went on 2 or 3 times. She stood up and grabbed this big, huge vase of flowers that they kept on the tables in the law library, and she threw it and hit him on the head and knocked him out cold. All right? Like, what did you just do? Okay, another occasion, we had another situation where she had a new boyfriend and he came to this picnic. So she wanted him to get up and fix her a hot dog, and he was playing bid whisk and he was running a Boston. And she kept saying, I don't care whether you'd run it or not, I want a hot dog. So she got frustrated. She went and got one of these 16-ounce glass Lotta Cola bottles out of the trash can, came over and hit him across the head and knocked him out. We thought she'd killed him. So she had a whole history of these kind of violences. So it developed that one time she hit this guy with a big board and he hit her back and she was hollering about brutality. Now, everybody that knew her had seen her behave as one of the most brutal, violent people we knew. So we all said, you know, it's wrong to hit a woman, but we got the impression she provoked that.
So here's the thing. So that pretty girl says, no, Diddy has committed awful things and I have receipts. It doesn't matter. He did not, but it was consensual and he did not participate in human trafficking. So it may be awful to most people. It may be disgusting. It may be freaky, but they were all adults and it was consensual.
And there's a thing called S&M, sadomasochism.
You're staying there. I don't care whether it's Stockholm, something you could have screamed if you really wanted help, but you couldn't get out. You would have said to several people, you want to get out. Nobody never came forward saying she came to me several times wanting to get out and didn't know how, because she never told people that. And the witness today said you need to leave. And she said it's okay.
My late brother Cliff Stewart and I used to do that all the time. We'd help women get out of those situations. Even infamous Ike Turner, he had 2 cases in front of me. And what they were about is he and his wife at the time had a fund that they set up where if a woman was being abused, they would give her a loan to get away. And if she got away, it became a gift. If she went back, it was a loan she had to pay back. He had 2 episodes in front of me where he and his wife were suing women because they went back to the abuser. So, I mean, that's contrary to what Hollywood said about him. But it's like these things happen. So and when I was representing pimps and prostitutes, it amazed me, like, why do you keep going back where he can get a hold of you?
I don't know. I mean, listen, it's, maybe they think they have no way out. But again, if you stay, then to a certain, if he's not forcing you to stay, if he's not locking you up to stay, and you make a decision, whatever the reason is, you choose to stay, that's consent. Well, I mean, you're not consenting to him beating you over the head, no, but he's not human trafficking you.
Well, I mean, it's amusing. The guy that created Wonder Woman is the same person that invented the polygraph test. He made no bones about it. He used to write about it and speak about it and brag about it. He and his wife had a girlfriend that lived with them for 2 decades, and she was their mistress. She'd tie them up naked, beat them, stuff apples in their mouth, hit them with whips and all this other kind of stuff. And he used to write about the glories of getting spanked, belted, whipped, and beaten. And he was deep off into S&M. And if you look at the apparatus that Wonder Woman has, she has the coil of truth, the lasso of submission. And if you read some of the early comics, they have these blank frames with just the voice things. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, God, it hurts so good. Oh, don't stop. And that would be in comics that would be passed out to kids. So he talked about it at great length about the glories of rough trade, so to speak, and how it hurts so good. So, I mean, it's a whole thing. That's a whole element of freakism. There are some people like that. So when people say, oh my God, how could he must have, it's like some people get off on that. I don't know. I just don't get it when somebody for day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year keeps going back.
Right.
Like, what are we
Right.
talking about here? That's like you're addicted to this stuff.
Yeah.
Because some
Or
people
maybe you just like
are masochists. They enjoy the infliction of pain when it's them that's the victim. And some are sadists who enjoy inflicting pain.